Hello, my friends, and welcome to No Network with Katya. I spent more than 1 month in one of the most remote areas in India, Arunachal Pradesh. It's a state in the northeastern part and is bordering to Bhutan, China, and Myanmar. It was beautiful, the nature was stunning, but also it was adventurous. And today I'm going to tell you how I survived. It took me 3 weeks to get my permit. So first of all, you cannot apply online. There's a website which does not work because it's not allowed to travel solo. Although I did travel the whole state solo and nobody said anything. But officially you have to have a guide. Secondly, even they mention what kind of documents you have to upload to the website. You upload all of them. After 3 days, they come back to you and say, hey, you upload more of these documents. Then after 3 days, they come to you and they say, hey, we need more documents. So the whole process took me more than 3 weeks, and I finally gave up to applying online for myself. And I had to apply through tour agents. There are many different tour agents and they're located in all over the state, so you can reach out to them very easily. The problem with them is of course that they overcharge, especially tourists. I didn't know how much is the actual price of the permit first, but the standard rate is around $50, which is around 5,000 rupees. And it's very interesting because my whole visa for whole India for 1 year is $70. So if I have to pay $50 for just for one state for 1 month, that's a little bit too much already. I applied and through an agent my first time, and it took 5 working days to have my permit, and he just sent it to me over WhatsApp, so you don't have to meet anyone in person or whatever. You can also go in person in Assam to apply, but I didn't do this. So what happened is that when I got my permit, actually you have to write which districts you want to visit in the state, and if you want to cover the most touristic ones, they're like around 10, so your agent can write them for you. The problem was when I got my permit, the actual price is 1,800 rupees, which is around $80. So there I got doubts, like why should I pay $50 when actually the price is $18 for my permit, you know? This is like too much overcharging. This is more than the triple. Yeah, it's just not the way how it should work, I think. And that's how to say, just the first step to get into the state. It's so frustrating. Oh, I almost gave up on coming to the state, you know? Because it just like took me so much time and so much nerves to get over this. Yeah, it was not fun, and I got into many heavy discussions with my agents why I should pay that much, and I tried to bargain and I reduced a little bit, but still I think it's too much. So what I would suggest to all my foreign friends who want to come to Arunachal, you just have to know the price. The actual price is 1,800 rupees. And if your tour agent is charging you too much, then you try to bargain. And I really hope and I suggest to the government authorities to work on their website so it works properly. Because for example, even if you forget your password, it takes more than 5 hours to reset your password. So you can do this. Work on your website, make it working. And foreigners can also apply by themselves online, and within 1 day actually you can get the permit. It's not that difficult procedure actually. For Nagaland, I got my permit for 3 hours. So this might work. For Indians, you also have to have ILP, which you can get it on the border within 1 hour, or yeah, it's much easier for you guys, and of course much cheaper, between 50 to 200 rupees, what I heard. Also, what they tell you is that because this is a border state, especially to China, it's a little bit critical, the situation. They tell you, the police will control you, they will check you, and this is true sometimes. When you go to homestay or to your hotel, they will always ask for your passport, visa, and permit, but not always. This is based on how aware are the people in the homestay and if they really know. Because in many places, they even didn't ask for this for me, and I wondered, why did I do this, you know? And in some places the police called me and said, where are you? I want to come to check on you. So sometimes police officers came to my homestay to check on me if I'm a Chinese spy or not. And it was very fun because the conversation was very friendly, and I almost thought they want to take a selfie with me. Always, if you come with a group, of course, you will also need a permit, and they will call your tour leader, which is also a local guide. And it can be very frustrating also for them, where you guys, the police will track you all the time, where you're staying, they'll call you like 10 times per day. So I don't know why is that so necessarily, because literally for some areas like Tawang, Dirang, Bomdilla, nobody checked if I have a permit or not. Roing also, like nobody checked, and yes, it's just a little bit of too much stress around this, and I don't understand this. Why it's so difficult? If you guys want to have more tourists, just make it easier. We'll come, and we'll be happy to come because Arunachal is so beautiful and has so much to give. Number 2, once you get your permit, you are very welcome to enter. You'll be checked on the border. I came through bus or through sumo with public transport, so the driver comes with you to the border. They check on you guys, they write your documents, your numbers and everything. And they also write the driver's number in case something happens. He will be the responsible person, at least for the beginning. And you can enter alone, travel alone, don't worry, I did everything on my own in the whole state. Arunachal is amazingly beautiful, but it took more than 1 month to cover the whole state to the most important places, just because distances are huge and it will take at least 1 day to move from one place to another place. If there are no landslides, if there's no rain, if the weather is good, if you don't get stuck, if you're lucky. So you have to have patience if you want to have everything, or you just like plan enough time and plan it in the good weather so you can enjoy the whole process. The drivers are amazingly good. I'm just amazed by these guys' skills. Sometimes the biggest adventures for me was the sumo driving to one place to another, because it was just so crazy, and these guys drive amazingly good. Bravo to everyone. If you are traveling, try to get on the front seat. It's always more comfortable, and you can interact with the driver, you can sing songs, and you can capture good pictures. About the infrastructure in Arunachal is mostly very good. You can travel within the state, you don't have to go to travel through Assam. But they're still repairing some parts. For example, the major part which has to be done is the road between Aloo to Mechuka. It's 70% still work in progress. They're doing the highway there. So there are a lot of landslides, there's a lot of mud. Trucks and cars got stuck. There are specific time blocks where the road is closed, so people can work on this and then they open it again. So it takes a lot of time. For example, for me, the whole journey from Aloo to Mechuka took 18 hours instead of 8, because we also had flat tire and the sumo got stuck, and then the truck got stuck, and then the sumo broke down, so we had to come back. And it's always also critical in these parts of the mountain, in the Himalayas, there's no network sometimes, and you cannot also call for help. If you travel by sumo, they always stop for breakfast and lunch in local restaurants, so called dabas, where you can have local thali, veg or non-veg, and it's very nice, so don't worry about the food. But again, in case you get stuck, do always have some snacks, because you might sleep also in the sumo overnight if you get stuck seriously. However, road from Roing to Anini is the opposite. It's like 70% good, 30% bad. So there you can manage relatively easily. And the road from Itanagar to Tawang is in perfect condition, is very new. So there will be no problems except if there are heavy rains with landslides. I also got to know that India invests a lot in infrastructure in Arunachal, just because it's a border area to China, and the situation is a little bit critical there. Okay, let's talk about my journey. First, I went to Ziro. It's a beautiful valley located in Arunachal. It's famous for the old ladies with the tattoos and the nose plugs. You can check out my video here about this. And Ziro is also famous for the beautiful paddy fields. It's just amazing, the most beautiful paddy fields. You can see paddy fields everywhere in Arunachal, but in Ziro they're, in my opinion, the most beautiful, because the reflection of the sky in the water is just stunning. You can check out my video about Ziro here. Next, on my way, I went to Daporijo, where I had one of my funniest drives ever. Thanks to Sunny, it made my day. 4 hours just of singing. It was amazing, and I'm so sorry to all of the passengers who had to hear our voices the whole time. In Daporijo, I didn't stay. I just changed my transport. I took a bus at 1 o'clock to Basar. I actually wanted to go to Aloo, but there was no more transport, so I just reached to Basar. The bus was also quite adventurous. I just stayed in the front part where the driver was, And in the beginning it was just me, and then 2-3 guys came, and in the end we were more than 10 people, so this was also quite an adventure. I stayed in Basar, then on the next day I went by sumo to Aloo, where I also had to stay overnight. In Aloo there's a nice resort called Cozy. You can go there, you can chill. It's a restaurant and party area, sometimes they have live music, and you can also do karaoke there. From Aloo I went to Mechuka. As I said, the ride was very adventurous. But finally we reached just before midnight, and I was welcomed by the most beautiful song I ever heard. Thanks Nima for this experience.
Kati sahamshiye ishinobu kungininda talelama ishinobu kungininda talelama
In Mechuka, I spent 2 days. That's enough. One day you can trek on the hill, it's beautiful, and then on the next day you can just see around the monasteries and just the villages. Also, if you have a special permit, you can also go to the border area. But yeah, I didn't have this permit, so I didn't go. I was tired of all of the permits already. After Mechuka, I came back to Aloo. It takes around also 1 day, so just be aware that this traveling, it's very time consuming and energy consuming also. There is an option to fly by helicopter, but not every day, and also this depends on the weather. If people wake up and see, oh, it's cloudy and raining today, they cancel the chopper last minute, so there will be also other transport, so you have to stay 1 more day. I really wanted to try this helicopter, but unfortunately I didn't have the chance, and it's not that much more expensive than the sumo. After coming back to Aloo, I went to Pasigat by sumo, but I was the only passenger, so they cancelled the sumo. They put me in a bus, and the bus just broke down in the middle of the way. So I was too tired and exhausted to wait for a new bus to come, and I just stopped the car. They give me a lift to Pasigat. In Aloo, people told me I can get a sumo at 6 p.m. to Roing, which I was hoping to, but actually the guy mistakenly said 6 p.m. instead of 6 a.m. And actually I noticed many people here don't know the difference between p.m. and a.m. So be aware and make sure that you really ask what they exactly mean, because it can mislead you so badly. There was no sumo at 6 p.m. of course. Sumos are always early in the morning, so they told me I have to stay overnight in Pasigat, which I didn't want to do. So yeah, I found 2 guys who brought me by car to Roing. And of course, I just want to say the roads are very good, they're very nice, they're new, so everything gets very fast. In Roing, I had one and only privilege to stay in an orphanage and a private school. It was another experience, I would say. You interact with the children a lot, you learn from them, they're so adorable. So I just stayed a little bit longer than I was planning there to interact with them. And actually what they need is not biscuits or whatever you want to bring them. Yes, they will be happy for food, because actually they just have more or less dal and rice every day. But what they really want is your love and your time and your attention, your example. They want that you inspire them. They want that you share some things from just out of their school, you know, because they're actually not allowed to go outside. So I stayed in Anini school in Roing. They're all actually very welcome and open to welcome outsiders, like other people or Indians or foreigners, whatever, just to interact with the children, because the children need this contact. So you can contact them. I will link the details below, and you can go and enjoy a wonderful time there. From Roing, I went to Anini. Again, the road was good, but yeah, it takes just time, like 8 to 10 hours of traveling. And on the way I stopped in a village, which was quite amazing and interesting to see how people live there in the middle of the mountains, surrounded by all of the hills and having very difficult access to the outside world. So if you're traveling by private vehicle, I do recommend stopping in the nearby villages just to see the real mountain village life. Anini is beautiful. There are 3 valleys you can explore, and also you can go to one of the last villages, which is called Cheso, where you can camp. There are 2 campings. One of them is called Chigu Camp, which is not operating right now, and the other one is 3 Alpha. There are tents, but you can also put your own tent, so you can just live in front of the river, and it's beautiful, but also cold. Since this is a nature reserve, there's a lot of jungle with a lot of nature around, so you can just explore and walk there. You can have a bicycle, and you can just explore everything by bicycle. And if you want to go for real trekking, there are, but you have to book in advance. There are 2 days trekking, 7 days trekking, 3 days trekking, so you have to book. And then a group of local people will come, they bring the food, water and accommodation tents for you, and you guys go with them. It's very adventurous, but again you need a special permit also for foreigners and for Indians, and you have to book it in advance. After Anini, I went back to Roing, and then I went to Teju just to get a flight and go to Itanagar. Flight was amazing. It was the smallest plane I've ever seen, with the tallest steward I've ever seen as well. The plane was just as tall as me, and it had 12 seats. We were only 2 passengers, and it took us 1 hour from Teju to Itanagar to fly over Majuli, over Assam and Arunachal, and it was just stunning. I recommend this to everyone. The cost ticket was 900 rupees. Yeah, just do it. It's crazy to see everything from above, especially when you have already explored how the ground looks like. In Itanagar, the airport actually is located very far away, 20 kilometers from the actual city, and there are no taxis available. There's no Uber available, no Rapido available, so it's just pure luck to get a taxi to bring you to the city. Actually, I got a shared taxi with the other passengers from the flight, and we went to the city. Itanagar, it's beautiful if you have so much time in the town and village areas, so it's a little bit bigger city. It's the capital of Arunachal, and actually there you can see all the tribes on one place. The beauty of Arunachal is that it has more than 26 different tribes and more than 100 sub-tribes. All of them have different look, different religion, different language, different attire. And if you are interested into this and you want to see the diversity, go to Itanagar. It was nice. And in comparison to other cities, in India it was not that as polluted. The air was clean, so you can just enjoy spending some time there. After Itanagar, I went to Bomdilla by sumo, and I had one of the best sumo drivers ever. We became friends. I went to his family, I met his children, his wife, and it was beautiful. Bomdilla is nice. You can spend 1-2 days there. There's nothing much you can see. And then I went to Dirang. Dirang, it's per se a very small town. You cannot see in the town that many tribal people from the region. There are mostly Biharis and Assamese doing business and construction work there, so for me it was very difficult to find the local people. So I had to explore the villages around. So I went to Chug Valley, which was stunning and beautiful. I have a very nice restaurant there where you can try the local traditional food in a gourmet way. I will link the link below. And the other thing which I explored was Sangti Valley, which in my opinion I think it's a little bit overrated, but you can just go and see. Dirang has also had a nice monastery. And yeah, that's it. 3 days, 2 days are enough for Dirang. After Dirang, I explored Thembang, which is also a very beautiful village with traditional houses of this Mompa people, the tribe which lives there. And actually the village is UNESCO pending. There's only one functional homestay there if you want to stay there. I didn't stay there, I just visited probably. But this is the place if you want to see real culture of this tribe in that region. After Dirang, I went to Tawang, which is very famous. There you will see some tourists. It's famous because it has the largest Buddhist monastery in India and actually the second largest Buddhist monastery in the world after Tibet in Lhasa. It is nice, please do go. The largest monastery is for monks, for men, and there are also some nunnery for female nuns. And do go there also, it's very interesting. The male monastery is located close to the market, but the female monastery is located outside and you have to drive there, so you really see how remote these monasteries are and how the women live there. That's also very beautiful to see. Tawang has also nice waterfalls, and they have this iron bridge which is very famous. And unfortunately, again, there are more beautiful places, but foreigners, it's not allowed to go there. There's also no permit variation for this. But Indians, they can go just right to the border to China and experience also some nature, more lakes, more waterfalls as well. Yes, and Tawang was my last destination. Then I went back to Assam, where I am right now. Overall, Arunachal was very beautiful. Very remote culture was very intense, very raw. I had the unique choice to attend a funeral. Everyone is aware of the Indian weddings, but actually there I attended a funeral, which was much more exciting, let's say like this, than a wedding in that region. Because there I was a real shaman chanting the songs, performing the rituals to guide the spirits of the dead person to the work of the spirits, and that was very interesting. So if you're there in an Indian, just ask for a funeral, like ask if a funeral is happening so you can join. But the culture, the diversity is huge, and I'm so happy. I waited actually for my permit, and I persisted on this, and I got into the state to see and explore this. People are very friendly. They are a little bit shy, but if you talk to them, they will talk to you. Just go there. It is worth it. It's worth it. All of the money for the permit and all of the waiting actually. So yeah, that was my journey in Arunachal. I'm very happy I had it, and I recommend to every one of you. And just don't go to the most famous places. Explore a little bit outside, off-road. You really experience off-road and how raw nature works. You understand how culture forms actually, because these villages are so remote in this mountain. Just 10 years ago there was no road, so it was super difficult to move from one village to another village. It took days if you survived at all. So it gives a very interesting perspective of the world and how the villages are formed and how they will develop in future. Go now as long as there are not that many tourists, so you can experience this raw nature, raw culture, and you'll get amazed. Yeah, thank you so much. I've linked all of my videos for Arunachal here, so you can check them out and stay tuned for my next adventures. Bye bye!